Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or maybe even good evening to some of my viewers out there. My name is Melissa Session, and I am a wife and a mother who decided at 41 years old that I wanted to turn the camera on and document on YouTube family life, motherhood, especially because that is a huge priority that I have going on right now. And if you click this video, that means you saw the title and you can relate to this side of parenthood. Doesn't matter if you're a mom or a dad or a guardian of some sort. This is parenthood, and we're out here managing our little people. And there's different things that arises that comes with parenthood and the struggles. And for me, one of the biggest battles that I faced when my daughter became 3 was an out of the blue stutter. And I'm not talking about the typical stutter that's really cute and a kid may fumble or stumble over their words. I'm talking about where they begin to stutter so much that it is becoming alarming. And this is what happened to me. Again, my name is Melissa. I am married and I have a toddler daughter who is, I don't know, what is the age range for toddlers? She may have grown out of that. My baby, Destiny, which you guys will see sometime in the future if you continue to subscribe to my channel. She is 6 years old. She just turned 6 a couple of months ago, November the 25th. And Destiny began talking around 2. When she was 1, she began, speaking, but actually talking and saying words and full sentences. Well, not full and complete sentences, but different words, linking them together to create a sentence to where, of course, as our parents, we understood what she was saying, trying to convey or ask for. So, and it was well. And so it was like, okay, cool. She's doing great. She is hitting all milestones. Since she's been here, she's reached and accomplished all milestones at the appropriate time and age, including speaking. And we never had a concern. So then right around 3 years old is when she began to stutter. Now, I can't remember exactly when it first started, because it started off very small, very faint, very cute. When you see a kid that be like, Mom, like, and they continue with their sentence. It was started off with that. I remember that, but I don't remember making a pinpoint mental note in my file cabinet to worry. It came across very easy, very fine. After a while, it began to progress. And for her, it started off with like the repetitive stutter. So, for example, let me put this disclaimer out there too. Listen here. I am a everyday, regular, schmegular woman out here living life, okay? I am no professional. So this video that I'm doing, I'm literally sitting on my couch with my blanket on. Happened to have the day off. Well, I didn't have the day off. I took the day off on this random Thursday. My husband is at work. My child is at school. And I was just sitting here like, I want to do a YouTube. What's going to be my first video? And I wanted to be something passionate about myself. And this was a phase and a moment in time where I did have to go through this. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of moms out there. And I remember when I was going through it, there wasn't many videos of just support of going through this particular phase in my kid's life. So I'm no professional. I don't know all of the stats and all this stuff about stuttering. That is not this. This is just for moms or dads or parents out there who have come across this and need some support while they help manage their kid. And I'm going to tell you what I did and what helped tremendously for my child, who started at 3, who's now 6, who now doesn't stutter much. I guess she's past it. I don't know 100% yet. She's right at that cutoff stage where they're like, if it is considered developmental stuttering, it should phase out about this age. So let me get that out there, and now I'm gonna back up again. So Destiny at 3, her first form of stuttering began with repetitiveness. So I'm gonna give you an example. She would say, "Mom, look at that ball over there. Look. It's like that. And she'll finish the rest of the sentence. She would just get caught up at this one particular word at the beginning, typically. And so I stopped, and I noticed she had did it. And I was like, okay, that's a little worrisome. But then as time progressed, it was happening more frequently. So the first thing I did was get on my phone and go to Google. I didn't even go to YouTube yet. I went to Google and I typed in, daughter starts stuttering out of nowhere. And I don't even think I had to finish the sentence before the rest of it filled in the rest out of nowhere type of situation. And it popped up with these articles. And right off the top of the Google search, it said, before I clicked on an article, stuttering is very typical between the ages of 2 and 6. This is called a developmental stuttering, and it's nothing to be worried about. There is no treatment type of thing for it, I believe, something along those lines. So I did that in the middle of the night. I was talking to her during dinner or something. She did the stutter. It kind of caught my eye as soon as I put her down to bed, and it was my turn to shower and stuff. And I get in the bed, I'm laying in my bed, and I pull the Google search on. It gave me some ease. I went to sleep. It's nothing to worry about, just a developmental stutter. They say that it happens. So pardon the noise. A Corvette just went by and set off alarms. Middle of the day activity. So that happened, but then it started to happen a little bit worse. So I did a little bit more research, and it would just say the same thing. It's very typical, and some tips is to slow speech down and not to interrupt a person who stutter. Allow them to get it out. I said, okay, I take heed to that. And then her stutter changed. So it went from the repetition type stutter to like a prolonged, like an elongated sound stutter. So remember the example, look at that ball over there. It became, mommy, look at that ball over there. Look at that. It was that. And it became a little bit worse. Like, okay, this is something. But I'm going to chill. And then I think my mother was the next person who mentioned it out loud, said something about her stutter. And I'm like, okay, others are beginning to notice. Now, I had my kid during COVID, so she didn't have much contact with other people. It's myself and her father, my parents, his parents. So, pardon, I think the trash man is going by. Yes. Sorry about that. Or not. This is, like I said, real deal mom life. So, yeah. As I was saying, let me take these off. There's a glare. Okay, yes. So then, no one else had mentioned it. Just my mother for the first time. I said, you know what, I've noticed that, but I looked up some information. So I repeat the information to her. I'm like, oh yeah, I read about developmental stuttering. It appears that it starts to happen between 2 to 6. Some of the tips that I saw is just making sure that when she is speaking and she's trying to get it out, don't interrupt her. Allow her to finish it. and don't try to finish her sentence for her. And then it also said that when in company of your child and you have other adults and fluent speaking people around, try to not rush the conversation and speed up. So I told her that. So that's what we did. We began to speak very slow when she was around and not interrupt her. So you hear how I'm doing that? We began to do that. And it went away. It went away. And I was like, me and my mom was talking. It worked. That was, oh my goodness, that was weird. It just fixed itself. It went away. So time goes by, maybe a month goes by with no stuttering, right? Wrong. Next thing you know, it comes back. And it does the same pattern. I don't know if this is the same for all kids in their stutter, but for my baby, it came back the same way. The repetitive repeat speech came first. And she did that for maybe about a week or two. And then it switched back to the okay? And then here's where the shit hit the fan. She switched from the elongated to now blocks. They call it blocks. And that is where the word doesn't come out at all. So instead of the look at that elongated sound, it became look. It was that. When that happened, I went to YouTube. I need to figure this out. Okay, I know all of the articles is telling me it's nothing to worry about, but that's strange. So then I go to YouTube, and that's why I say that this is not coming from a place of scientist or behavioral speech pathologist. That is not me. I work at a call center. I'm call center fish, okay? Cubicle fish, as Funky Dineva would say. That's me. This is just from a mom's perspective, and seeing your kid start to struggle with speech after they have been speaking fine is crazy. And let me tell you, I went to YouTube and all I saw was videos from professionals, which is great. If you need to seek professional information out, if you type it in, you're going to see it dating back from 10 years. I didn't see anything as of recent, which is also another reason why I wanted to do this video. The earliest video I saw was from 3 years ago on YouTube with people talking about it. But like I said, it was more informational. A lot of stats about the age range of when it happens. 2 to 6, as I mentioned before, is more common in boys than little girls. The different techniques that you can do to help and assist your child with stuttering, such as slowing down your speech. What else? All kind of little stats and stuff, which is very helpful, okay? So I did find that. I did look up those videos, but none of it gave me ease. A lot of it still gave me a bit of worry. And then one day my daughter was, we were at my parents' house, and she was sitting down reading her book, a little turtle book, with my mom. And I was in the back room. They were in the living room, and then I hear my daughter crying, not in a wail like an accident or something has happened, but I hear her crying, and I hear my mother saying, "It's okay." So I come out to the living room, and my mom is like holding her, consoling her, and she sends my daughter to the bathroom to go wipe her tears. And while she's in the restroom, she tells me that Destiny was talking to me, and she had one of her blocks, and she couldn't get the word out, and she got sad, and she said, "Gee, Mama, something is wrong with my mouth." And when I say that hurt my feelings, to see my baby crying and has to be consoled because she thinks something is wrong with her. I don't care what it is. At 3, any parent should or would feel a way when their kid is feeling like something about them is wrong. That should not come at 3. And I got nervous, like, oh my God, my kid is struggling. And at that point is when I decided to try to reach out for speech therapy. There was a lot of different speech therapists out there that handles toddlers and children, but it is primarily for speech delay. So a lot of children who have delayed speech get a chance to have a speech pathologist to help them with that. But with stuttering, because it's so common and there is that developmental stuttering stage from 2 to 6, there was not a lot of options out there. So I finally did reach out to someone, and I can't remember the name. It was an online company, and I called them over the phone and said, hey, listen, she is recognizing that she is stuttering now, opposed to like a lot of other kids who stutter. They don't even recognize that they stutter. They just get the word. It takes them a minute to get it and they move on. She has gotten to the point where the blocks have now frustrated her. So if you're frustrated, it makes it that much harder to get through. Now, mind you, this started at 3. So she was about maybe 4 to 6 months in of the stuttering and it progressing. And then the blocks went away and then it came back. It will do this yo-yoing thing. But when it became blocks, it was just really tough. So they said that they would take her. And I can't remember how much it was going to cost. I think with my insurance coverage, it was somewhere like around a couple $100s a month. I live in Los Angeles. I don't know if it's state-based pricing. And this was online. So then we would have like Zoom calls in the for the therapy sessions. So this was towards the end of the year that this was happening. Yes, it was by her birthday, where she was getting ready to turn 4 years old. And this was Thanksgiving, so I was telling her dad, like, yeah, I found this speech place, and I think I want to enroll her. This is how much it's going to cost, but I think it's probably better to wait till the new year. What do you think? And this is why having a good partner also helps. Her dad was like, well, whatever you want to do, I'm down to do it. I was like, it's just, I'm scared, I'm nervous, and I'm going to be honest and transparent. What I was nervous about, honestly, was how she was going to fit in socially. I'm one of those parents where education is our primary focus, but I'm also, self-aware enough to know, especially in childhood, youth, your social currency means a lot. And children can be cruel. They start off very sweet, very innocent. And then, of course, the more they become into the world and they learn different emotions and manipulations and all these other things, and they're surrounded by other children, they can be cruel. And I did not want my child to be teased. I did not want my child to be bullied. I did not want her to not have friends, because she is a very empathetic child, still to this day. And she loves other children. She's the type that'll go up to a kid. She'll ask, Mommy, is it okay if I go and make a friend? I say yes or no. She'll go to the kid. Hi, my name is Destiny. What's your name? Hi, my name is Destiny. That is her thing. You hear me? So that is important to her. And I'm assuming that it's probably going to follow her, because it appears to be a characteristics of hers. So she is going to want to be the social girl. And having a speech impediment especially like with stuttering, and other people become impatient and not allowing you to get your thoughts out and not being able to express yourself could be damaging socially, right? So that's what I'm worried about. And my husband was in the kitchen and he was making some gumbo. And I'm telling him I'm just worried about school and I don't want her to be. He was like, "Oh, she'll be fine." How do you know? He was like, "I don't." I was like, "But she can be teased." He was like, "She will be." And I was taken aback and a little bit upset with him at his nonchalantness of her being teased. He said every kid is going to be teased at some point. He said I had big front teeth, or you talk about the fat person. This person got big lips. This person don't got a daddy. This whatever. He was like, kids are going to find something to tease each other about on the playground. He was like, so I'm just going to have to teach her how to talk shit back. I'm being honest, okay? This is, you know how men talk. And I was like, yes, I get that. I understand that. But what you don't get is it's a stutter. So she won't be able to get the dang on. Part of having like bagging or roasting or coming back with a person is the timing and being able to get it out. But if you're stuttering, all you're doing is not getting it out and making it worse. He said, well, then that's when she might have to just knuckle up with a few people. Not dang sure can teach her that. And y'all, I just laughed. I laughed, but you know what it did? It gave me ease that everything is going to be okay. He said, you're worried about something that may not happen. He said, if the studies say 2 to 6 and she's 3, give her till 6. I said, well, what if she's one of the ones that does not have developmental stutter? She has the actual stutter and she's going to have it for the rest of her life. It's better to attack it now. He said, but we don't know what we don't know. All we can do is continue to support her and to love on her. And if she has a stutter, she's going to have a stutter. It's not going to stop her from having one, if that's what they say. He was like, so if you want to go with the therapist, I understand that, because I'm with you, because I do want to provide her the best of the best. So I'm willing to do that. He said, however, if they're saying 2 to 6, I don't see why we're not waiting for 2 to 6, babe. He was like, she's going to be fine. All kids are going to go through something. We all have to. We have to develop that thick skin to get over it. And if the stuttering is going to be her thing, we'll figure out how we're going to get over it. And I'm going to teach our kid, regardless, to not allow themselves to be bullied and not to do any bullying of somebody else. That's what we are going to enforce in our household, either way, if she have a stutter or does not have a stutter. He was like, if she got to ball her fist up and punch a few people in their mouth to make sure that they don't talk about her or tease her and bully her, so be it. And of all of the Googling I did, all of the YouTubing I did, just that thought alone gave me ease that it is going to be okay regardless. Hold on, it's a trash person. Okay, I am back. The trash man has left. I also had to free up some storage, and the glasses are back. Anyway, so yes, as I was saying, that conversation with my husband gave me more ease and peace than any Google search, any YouTube search, any conversations that I had with different potential speech pathologists. It just gave me ease that everything is going to be okay, which is why I wanted to make this non-formal video, mom to mom, mom to parent, guardian. If your child is going through stuttering, it is okay. It is going to be okay. It's probably more than likely just developmental stuttering, okay? And if it is not, and it does become a stutter, is it going to be difficult socially for your child? Absolutely. I don't want to sugarcoat that, but like my husband said, so what? That's why God appointed you as their guardian. And if you're watching this video, that means you are doing your absolute best to show up for that child, which means you are the perfect fit to guard that child, guard their heart, guard their self-esteem. Let them know that regardless, they are going to be just fine. And here is another trash. This is the blue trash can, y'all. I paused because they was on my side of the street getting the black trash cans. Then I paused because they was on the opposite side of the street getting those black trash cans. Now they back on my side of the street getting the blue recycle bins. Anyway, your kid is going to be good. Because if you're looking at this video, that means you are researching. Parents that don't give a damn won't even be here clicking. They wouldn't have clicked. They wouldn't even looked it up. So if you're looking it up, you are doing what you're supposed to do, okay? But it may just be developmental, and they are going to not have that issue. Even with my child having developmental stuttering, I'm going to give you some tips that I did, okay? So I did what they said. 1, I slowed my speech down. Not just when I was talking to her, but when I was talking to other people when she was around. That was an example of how I did it. I paused. I spoke clearly. I broke many words into their appropriate syllables, especially if I was talking to her. When she did begin to stutter, I would allow her to get it out. I never tried to interrupt her. I never tried to finish the word or sentence that she was stuck on for her. I did my absolute best to not change my facial expression, to not appear disinterested, to not appear impatient. I tried not to do any of that in my body language. And when I spoke with her, sometimes I would speak with her on my lap and I would calm my breathing. That was how I spoke to her. Now, things that did not require my speech, I also slowed down, which was our scheduling. So I was the type of mother that was always on the go. Also involving her in different sports, different activities. We had gymnastics and all that. I had to take her out of gymnastics, not because she didn't enjoy it, not because I couldn't afford it, but because I wanted to slow down the entire environment. So I did not only just slow my speech down, I slowed down our daily routine. So when we got up in the morning, it wasn't so rushed. I wasn't rushing her in things. I set my alarm to get up 30 minutes earlier, so that when I woke her up, it was at a steady pace. When we had our weekends, we no longer had the gymnastics that we had to go to, and she didn't have to get there and have to be around other people who were quick as well. You know what I mean? That's going to be there. We did more activities, still getting out the house, like going to the park and stuff like that. Just that was a little bit more free flowing. We still got to get out the house, get some fresh sunlight, be around other people, be around other children. But I didn't force things so structured. I had to free up some space for that. So that was something else that I did that I think worked. What else did we do? Oh, when it was a stuttering so bad where she had the blockage and it became apparent to her that it was not working, what I would say to her, instead of slow down when you talk, I said, you know what, Pooh, I want to do a game. I said, let's play cheetah and turtle. And she said, cheetah and turtle? Yes. a cheetah is what? Super fast. And she said, yeah, super fast. I said, run like a cheetah. And she would run real fast. I said, and turtles are slow. And she said, yes. I said, walk like a turtle. And so she would walk like a turtle. So we would do that. And then I said, you know what? If I was a cheetah, I would talk real fast like this. But if I was a turtle, I would talk like this. And she said, oh, yes. And so I would say, hi, Destiny. How? And like really exaggerate it. So she would do that. And I would just do that every now and again out of the blue. And I would just talk like a turtle. And so sometimes when she would get caught up on blocks and she would get frustrated, I would say, that's okay, Destiny. Words are tough sometimes, but you might just need to talk like the turtle. And she would do that. And that helped. So it didn't feel like something is wrong with you or anything like that. And then sometimes I would talk. And if I talked to her and I stumbled on my words, I would say, ooh, sorry. Mommy have a hard time with words too. They get tricky sometimes. I would do that. And she became used to that. And I remember one time I was in the living room with my mom. And me and my mom was talking. It was around Christmas time. And we were talking. And she said, you guys, hold on. Slow down. You guys are talking too fast. I can't understand. And me and my mom looked at each other and I knew it was working. And I said, I'm sorry, baby. Do you need me to be a turtle? She said, no, you don't have to be a turtle, but y'all was talking fast. And I said, okay. And I switched it. So those are some tips that I did. Oh, and let me tell you, if you're nervous about how other people are going to act around, because remember I told you it was right before my daughter's birthday. And I told you my daughter is a COVID baby. So she's only been around myself, her dad, my parents, his parents. So that was it. And then her birthday falls on Thanksgiving every 4 years. This particular Thanksgiving, we were having family over. COVID was lifting. Oh, it had lifted already, yeah, because I was back at work. COVID had just lifted. I was back at work in office. And we had family. His family was coming out. And we were doing Thanksgiving, celebrating Thanksgiving as a family. And I was nervous. Like, oh, my God, everybody's going to notice that she stutters. And at this particular time, she was doing blocks. So it was tough stuttering. It was in the middle of a hard time for her. And I was just nervous. I was so nervous. That was what he was doing the gumbo for the family to be on their way. Let me tell you, the family came. She was so excited to meet her cousins and stuff. She was running around playing. Nobody even mentioned the stutter. Her cousins came. They wanted to spend the night and they was over and they played. And it felt so good to see my baby just enjoying herself. And I realized that I was doing the overthinking, which I am not ashamed of because I'm going to always overthink over that little girl. I'm going to stay overthinking. It's okay to overthink. But it was good to see her just enjoy herself, and I worried for nothing. She had an amazing time. And that next day, she had her cousins. They spent the night, and she had very few blockage. And I think maybe because she wasn't thinking so much about it, I don't know. The stutter didn't go away overnight like that. But during that time, it was a really great Thanksgiving weekend. Now, that was 3, okay? Destiny is now 6 years old. And you want to know, has it passed? Yes. Her stuttering has passed for the most part. When Destiny turned about 4 and a half, so I think she stuttered for about anywhere between 9 months to a full year. She stuttered, and it kind of gradually went away by itself. And she started TK. She finished TK last year. She's in kindergarten this year. And I have noticed in stages that she does stutter. Oh, also, she would pace a little bit when caught up in a stutter. At 6, she doesn't stutter much. What she will do is use filler words. And I remember sometime during that research period for the kids, some kids and adults say when they stutter, they learn filler words. So I don't know yet, to be quite honest, if she's fully out of stuttering, because it barely happens, but it does still happen. And I think that that's natural, but it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen much. She is still hitting other milestones very well. She is doing well in school. Every time we have any sort of teacher-student interaction, they never mention it. They just say good things about her. She's reading very well. She's great in math. Her favorite filler word is like. So she never does the stuttering, but she will say like. So she'll repeat the word. It's no like. It's no like. It's no it's like mommy, if you say that, it doesn't mean that, right? That would be how the sentence would go. That's more of her stuttering right now at 6. Not enough for me to reach out to a speech pathologist right now. If it did come back to that, I definitely would do it. But after 4, she turned like 4 and some months. I don't even think it was like a full 4.5. 4 and some months. She's been good. She's been great. If you have a kid and you're watching this and they're over 6 and they're still stuttering, I say yes. Reach out. Get them a speech pathologist. And it may be cheaper if you do online and Zoom than going into a facility. So if cost is the issue, there are other avenues. Make sure that, what I was doing when Destiny was stuttering before she was just getting into TK, pre-K, whatever you guys want to call it. I was like, okay, I'm going to get her an EAP. I need to get all the resources for my kid. I need to do this. I want to encourage everyone to do that. If your kid is outside of 6 years old and they are still having that issue, number 1, do not be ashamed. Do not be embarrassed, okay? Because those 2 things is going to stifle you a little bit and keep you from doing the proper research to give them all of the help that they're going to need. You can help them. Get them some professional help so that they can include that in their routine. Also, go on TikTok, and there are plenty of adult stutterers. I fell in love with this one lady. I think she is called like Mom of My Mom. And she mostly did her content of her taking care of her mother, who passed. She's now passed, but she also has a really big stutter as an adult, and she talks about her childhood and things like that, and different ways that she works through her own stuttering and stuff. I would look at them like, if my kid is going to be a stutter, I need to look up these other people that are doing. And there's some really cool people out there who stutter, and they stutter bad, and they will tell you the highs and lows that come with stuttering. They also give tips and tricks on how to self-manage the stutter and different things that a stutterer feels, so that you as a parent can navigate through that with them with a proper amount of support for them in building community. So go on everything: TikTok, Instagram, Google, YouTube. Do everything that you need to for your kid, but don't worry. Your kid is great. Your kid is fine. They will be fine. That is my only goal for this speech. I went all around the board to tell you all this, but to mainly tell you, you are doing great. If you click this video, you're doing great. If you are interested in me and keeping up with me, I will be showing Little Miss Destiny. And you guys get a chance to see how we navigate through this life of mommyhood together and growing. I think I started to do this video for her, honestly, just to capture it. And maybe one day she gets to look back and see all of this. I don't know if this channel is just going to be streamlined to just mommyhood or wifehood or family. I don't know, because that is not all of just who I am. I love being a wife. I think being a mother has been the best thing that has ever happened to me. But I'm also still Melissa. And Melissa loves reading. Melissa is on a weight loss journey. I don't know if y'all can tell sitting down, but I'm one of them plus size baddies that needs to lose some damn weight. Because I just was told I have high blood pressure at 40 and they put me on freaking blood pressure medicine. I don't want to be on it too long. So I am on a weight loss journey. I am starting over at 40, living in a 1-bedroom duplex. But I'm still loving life in the process. And I just wanted to document it. If you guys would love to keep up with my journey, like this video. Subscribe. If you have any questions, because I may have missed out on a lot. I'm literally sitting on my couch, and this is on the top of the dome. I have no notes. I have nothing. So if you have specific questions that you want to know, let me know. I'm going to be able to get back to you. I think one day I want to talk about my infertility journey and how I still was able to naturally figure it out, get that fixed in, finally get Destiny here at 35 years old. That was a struggle, but that she's here now, and then now this. So yeah, I have a lot of me that is of different facets that I'm going to be here, and I would love to have a community that we can get together and just be for real. Be real 100. I ain't editing this video. What you see is what you dang sure gonna get. Because I think maybe we should get back to that. A lot of the times you see perfect lighting. You hear perfect audio. And I love that too. But I do want to offer something real and authentic and doesn't look AI generated. I'm a real mom, okay? My hair not done, my nails not done. I ain't got the lash. I didn't put no makeup on or anything. Not that I don't, because I will get my hair and nails and stuff done. I may throw some lashes on it, and I like a nice beat every now and again. But this is real. This is real me. This is where real people can join and kiki. I don't get paid for this. I got a real job. I told y'all I'm cubicle fish, okay? I got a real job that paid me, so I ain't got to worry about watching my mouth because I can't get money, okay? Or monetize or whatever the YouTube people say. Maybe one day I will, though. Get me out this cubicle streets. I don't mind sitting at home talking to y'all. But that is it. If you have a child with any disability, wear it like a badge. I say, wear it like a badge, not anything to be ashamed of. And that's going to exude to your child. I think those changes that I mentioned earlier were changes that I needed for myself as well. And it just automatically picked up in my kid. My tone, my breathing, the slowing down. I'm telling you, if everything helped. Okay? And I hope this video helps too. I love you guys. And click that subscribe, click the notification, because you already know YouTube ain't gonna push me out. Okay, I got a few things going against me because I'm black like this, not like this. So we don't get pushed like that. So turn your notifications on so that you can always see what I'm up to. Peace.